Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take a bike ride on the Scottsdale Greenbelt Trail, also known as the Indian Bend Wash Greenbelt. This trail runs from Tempe Town Lake about 12 miles north into North Scottsdale. And what's really unique about this trail is that it runs through a lot of nice little parks with ponds and lakes, through golf courses. There's also a few like restaurants and bars along the way. My friend Cheryl and I took a break from hiking a couple weeks ago and biked this trail. Went out about 3.5 miles and stopped along the way. Just really had a great day. If it's getting hotter here in the Phoenix area, and if you're looking for something that's not as strenuous and to just walk or bike ride, this trail would be a good alternative. So enjoy the bike ride and the sights from the Scottsdale Greenbelt. One thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is part of the trail as of May 2025 is under construction, and there's part of it that you'll have to go around and go on the city streets and then get back on the trail. So after about 4.25 miles at Earl Drive, which is a couple blocks from Osborne Road, the trail's blocked, and so I just went out about that far where it was blocked and turned around. So I ended up biking about 8.5 miles, which was still a good ride, but you can take it. I usually go out about 5 or 6 miles, but just be aware if you do go out during the summer of 2025 that section of the trail is closed. I think it's going to reopen sometime in late July. So I did have to cut my ride short, but it's still a great ride. And even if you do just a few miles like I did, it's still a great experience.